Good morning and welcome to my flying field. Well, I'm sure you can tell by the title of this video that I've got some work ahead of me. Let's get started. Alright, so it's in the shade currently, but this is my 2021 Homesteader Challenger 5x8 trailer. Now, it's a little misleading because it's tall. What do I mean by tall? What I mean by tall is the fact that I can walk in and barely hit my head. Now, that's something. That's something. So I picked this up last weekend and already brought, obviously brought it out to the field. I had to give it a bath. It was pretty dirty already. And of course, you know me, I gotta keep my things nice. But I had a little help with some club members, and so got my wheel chock, and got my hitch lock, got my foot, picked that up at Tractor Supply Co., and I've got locks too. So I like these Master Lock locks because they're really hard to cut with bolt cutters. So got keys and everything, got the diamond plate aluminum. I like the black, it matches my SUV, and it looks nice and clean. It's ventilated, as you can see. Got a vent there, and then on this side over here there's another vent, so it's got cross ventilation, so I'm not too terribly worried about it overheating. On top of that, I also have the built-in walls already, which is nice. Up here, the roof being metal, it's got the plastic cardboard on top to help keep things a little more insulated. Might add some other insulation up top for other reasons, but we'll get into that later. So there's your quick tour around the new trailer. Should not have a problem towing this. It's like 600, 700 pounds, weighs next to nothing. Now, I will say that I've done a lot of research about this, and some people say, well, you should go with slightly bigger trailers that can get you different suspension because the leaf springs don't bounce the models around as much. I didn't want a bigger trailer. 5x8 is plenty for me. It's big enough that if I absolutely have to, I can put models in a tent and I can sleep in the trailer or whatever. So that being said, what's the reason? Well, the SUV that I normally take to flying events died last year. We got a new car, another SUV, but it's got a glass roof. Normally, when people see me roll up to these events, I have a roof bag. Not going to use a roof bag on a glass roof. Not smart. So that's why I got the trailer. It's time to expand anyway. I'm trying to take more models, trying to do more things, and it just made sense. So what I've got to do now is start outfitting it. And I'm going to take you along that journey. So let's go. Let's get started. All right. So the problem that I have now is I had this nice shock absorbing thing, and I tried using this bungee cord to keep it open, but the bungee cord does not hold it very strongly to keep the door open. So what I'm going to do is I got these hooks with the bungee cords. So what I'm going to do is take this rope. I've got this, and so I'm going to use the handle, and I'm going to try to get this rope the right length to hold it open under a little tension so that it's not exerting any force on the spring as much. Alright, so that's better. So these little eyelets here, just got a hook there, and this rope. And I can tighten it too if I need if the rope stretches, but having these hooks just snap like that. That way it doesn't come off, and that way it keeps the door open. Perfect solution. All right, I'm burning daylight. It's time to move on to the big guns. All right, so the first thing that I have to do is get rid of that block of wood. When you put the ramp down, there's not enough weight in the tongue to offset the weight of my big old self. It's just a good practice in general, and also a safety thing that you should have these. Most trailers don't come with them anyway. I was able to pick up my 2 stabilizers off Amazon for 40 bucks to my door, and I picked up some bolts, washers, and lock washers and nuts to bolt them in for like another $10 or so. So about $50 to get it in, but that doesn't include the labor. Let's get going. All right, I lowered it as much as I can so that I have easier access to install as well as get under it. Let's get to it. Trailer wiring that's coming here, so I'm going to move this in a couple inches just to clear that, give it room. It's not going to be perfectly symmetrical, but much better.
Safety code inspector.
All right. Safety inspector, what do you say? So yeah,
let's do an off check here.
So the carriage bolts have sunk into the wood. Looks good. Looks good to me.
Yep.
I'm happy with that. So the next project is how am I going to charge planes? Okay, I have been blessed with good friends that have let me charge off of their stuff for years, and with the trailer it's time to step up. So I am going to go with a solar charging setup. So let's go over that. All right, so what you see before you is a feast of parts and supplies and tools and stuff for a charging station. See, brand new to install. Okay, so I have a battery that I will be charging off of. I have solar, and I have 2 flexible panels. So the goal is to get the panels on the roof, run a hole through the roof, and install the charger and the battery and all of that stuff today. Why am I talking? All right, so Ron is playing with the tractor and Brad is flying his airplane. And things are a little noisy, so bear with me. So I cleaned everything, and that's good. Clean basic dirt off with just some simple green in a bottle, and then followed up with some isopropyl alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol because you want the surface to be as clean as possible for what I'm about to do. Catch my breath hiking up and down that ladder. So with this setup, the solar panels that I'm going to put on, they're flexible, so the contours to the curvature of the roof. That's great. The best part is, shout out to Project Farm YouTube channel. Man, they're freaking awesome. They test everything. And the very high bond tape episode is exceptionally informative, so I've got a whole roll of that, and I'm going to stick the solar panel to the roof that way. So let me get on my other camera and give you a little more breakdown on the solar panels themselves. Alright, so here's our first panel, and yeah, it's in the sun, but it's not connected to anything, so no worries. So I could, you know, just run screws into this thing and make some sort of brackets that stick on the roof, but everything that I've read is like you could just stick this directly on. But in addition to that, solar panels are susceptible to heat, and since this is a metal roof, I want to try to mitigate that. So what I've done is I've cut some plastic cardboard or coroplast, whatever you want to call it. Get it at the hardware store. I got mine at Home Depot. And this is, I'm going to stick the solar panel to the coroplast, and then the coroplast will be stuck to the roof of the trailer. And I did it specifically this way with the channels going the short way, because that will get probably the most amount of air movement, especially in the center of the panel. So by doing that, I can have the air go out this way as opposed to going out the long way. All right. So that's my next step, is I gotta get these the other panel out of the box, and get the panel stuck to the roof twice. All right, so the panels are in up there. I got wires dangling down. So now I've got to figure out where I'm going to put the battery and the wires and run all that stuff. So let me share my thoughts so you have an idea what we're dealing with. So the plan is to try and utilize essentially the trailer in two halves. Planning to have like a shelf in the middle and a shelf up high, and then down below will just be the floor. But essentially I want to leave this area open here for charging and for like my canopy if I have to stand it up for another large plane. So I'm going to try to confine the battery and the charger and stuff to like right here and above it. Just because the battery, I'm not going to try to mount it up high. That's silly. But if I try to mount it, see, I'm going back. If I mount it in the middle, that looks nicer. But then I got to mount the conduit on the side. And this has to be run down the side, which that isn't a huge deal, honestly. Yeah, because any shelf that's going to fold down, it's not going to interfere with any of this stuff anyway. So I think I'm actually going to put the conduit on that side, put the battery in the middle. Yeah, that makes more sense. Does it though? Yeah, I gotta stick with it. I gotta make up my mind and stick with it. All right, brief update. The angle of the sun has dramatically changed as time has gone on, but I've got the solar panels installed on the roof, as you can tell I'm on a ladder. and I have my panels connected in series here, and then I have my negative and my positive. This is called a bladder, and it is weather tight. I've got silicone and it's curing. I accidentally bumped it. And I've got these little hold downs. These are 3D printed, and I use more of the very high bond tape that I use to adhere the panels. We'll see how these last. Not sure if they will or not, but you know, worth a try. Why the heck not? And just cable ties, not a huge deal. So let's go down in the trailer and I'll give you an update on all of that stuff. All right, so here we are inside. I've got the toolbox sort of part way open. We've got I gotta reposition the battery. Oh, it's heavy. So the battery is in there, and the controller is working. We're currently charging. You can tell by the light. We are absorbing the sun. You hear that? You hear that? We're taking you with us. So next step is to get the battery connected to these binding posts, which will be where I charge stuff. GoPro is elsewhere, but here's the charge. So I'm going to charge the GoPro off the sun, and then we have this power distribution block that's going to go to other things that will be installed in the trailer. So that's up next.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Update again, a little more progress. So inside the battery box, I've got additional wires run to my charge posts here, which I can use to my breakout board and have small chargers or 2 large chargers. So I'll have all of this space open to not have junk everywhere. But GoPro is charging. As indicated by the light. So yeah, next up is get things cleaned up and see where we go from here. With the fire extinguisher in, I think we're going to call it quits on this video. That's a lot of stuff covered. We got the solar panels installed. We got the controller installed. We got the battery and the battery box and a fused breakout box installed. That's a lot of work. Okay, so this is my first reaction. Wow, that's actually not that bad. All right, so as you can tell with the time remaining in the video, we're not quite done yet. I did get the light bars installed, did some wiring, some soldering, and I've got a switch right there. And yeah, it's all working great. And it's even fused down here. So the wire runs from here, up the pipe, over around, down here, and through the switch, then back up to here, and then over to here. And these are just regular light bars. I was worried that there wasn't going to be enough light in here, but I don't think it'll be a problem, like at all. I had a plan where I would do some reflective insulation around here up at the top, just to help reflect the light back down. But yeah, I swear by indirect light, so that's why I have the LEDs pointed up. But yeah, I got everything done in one day. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm excited about this rig. There's more to come, and I'll catch you next time. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Until next time, continue to work on your mobile flying works of art.